Hey, it's Curly. Welcome back to From Zero in Zero, where I've started a brand new Vanguard Zero account, presumably free to play. So far, I've been able to do so. And we're in this view because there's a lot of things going on today with the game. It is the start of a new month, which means that it is the start of a new set. But this set is a little strange and different from the other ones, so I wanted to kind of go over it. Just because some of the things that I've said don't apply to this set just because it's so different. And there's also some events and stuff that I wanted to go over. First things first, wanted to show this. At the first of the month, there's always, except for like 1 month, no, every single month actually, there's always an update available, sometimes sooner than that. But there's always an update which is just for the new content of that month. So just make sure you install that. It should work. You can, in some situations, try and log in and hope that the maintenance for the new update finishes before your day ends. So again, for me, a new day starts at 8 a.m. There are times where I'm lucky and I can sign in at 7 a.m.-ish, and I'm able to like get rewards that are for that day. This can apply to, for example, for clan events where there's certain dailies, but they start the day you know, in the middle of my day because of my time zone. Likewise, there are some events or some missions that are only available daily, but they'll show up even before then. And then there's also some login rewards that'll trigger beforehand that you can get like a day early, because then the new day will start and you'll get it again. So I guess just keep that in mind. And with that, we're back here at the screen. There is a little bit more that we'll have to load, because after you update the app will then need to download some data. Kind of just going over this, just in case it comes to some sort of surprise. I want this to be as in-depth as I possibly can make it. But yeah, it'll download some data. Again, all this is normal. There are some times where this gets stuck loading. And it's happened to me a couple of times. It seems that solution for some users has been to go on a VPN. So go to a VPN, connect to a different location, and then proceed to download the data, and then that should unfreeze it. Because there are some times where it'll just get stuck. It'll like move one bit of data, whatever, I don't know what this metric is, and then it will just not download. And it'll say some error or something like that, and you start over, and it'll maybe come back to the previous one or move one more, and then, you know, still get stuck. So just keep that in mind and give that a shot. I've had that issue, but I just tried a couple of times and eventually it worked. So, as I mentioned, there's a lot going on here. We actually got new music here. Wow. That's new. This is, I believe, Chrono's theme. So there's someone's birthday. This is something that happens a lot in Vanguard Zero because there's a lot of characters. And they constitute these as events. They're really not. We'll go over what you can get from them. You do get a login reward when it's someone's birthday, which is just a cake of that character and a banner of that character. It's just happy birthday. Hey, really quickly, this is Curly from a little bit in the future from when I finished recording this. I forgot to mention the whole bit about what the birthday events are. Essentially, you go to the shop and there's a section here where you can purchase items with money, which is why I kind of forgot to mention it, I guess. But what you can do is whenever there's a birthday for a character in game, what that means is that you can buy a pack or a set, a discounted price of gems for that character, and then you also get a medal here. You can do this twice, and then if you do get the medal, what you can do is you can then go ahead and make this respond when I actually click to it. You can go ahead and go to the aptly named birthday medal tab. Thankfully they combined these. Before they used to be like multiple different tabs, but they're together now. And you can exchange it for a banner for that character. That one looks pretty cool. And then if you do it twice, you can then exchange it for an icon of that character. You won't see that option until you redeem the first one. So you have to buy it twice if you want the icon, even if the banner looks shit. That's just how it is. And that's it. That's all there is to birthdays. But I don't know why that song played specifically for the birthday event. So that was odd. Maybe I just never played with sound during those events. But We've got the regular login reward. Got our fighter's medal. We might be able to talk about those today. Yep. See you in like 2 seconds, Chrono. Because we have ourselves some login events here. So we've got Chrono's Festival, which is an event that's going on right now. It's also part of the 2.5 anniversary. Again, if you're watching this in the future, I'm sorry, this will definitely not apply to you. I will always have timestamps and stuff at the for the video, so you can just skip ahead if this no longer applies. But for the end of this month, or the duration of this month, I should say, if you log in up to 10 days, you get some Chrono medals, which you can exchange for things. There's also this anniversary login, which is for the new box, which is a very strange new box. You can see here, you gotta kind of like, it's very hard to tell. I got gypped by looking at this and thought that the packs that you're getting were different, or that they were all the same. But there's 2 fighters collections, which is a new set that again I'll talk about in a bit. But these login rewards give you kind of 1 for each. So there's 10 for the first fighters collection, which doesn't have a number, and then the second fighters collection, and then you get 1 for the second one, you get more for the second one, then you get for the first one again, then the second one, and then finally the first one. So don't immediately look at this if you're more aware of what Fighters Collection is, and you look at this and think like, okay, cool, I get all these packs for Fighters Collection too. No. But more on that in a little bit. Then we have this Hololive X Vanguard event, which is brand new. This hasn't even happened on the JP server. It's actually happening simultaneously on both sides, which is the first time that's ever happened. But this is a collab with some VTubers you can see here. I believe this is Suisa and this is Sakura Miko. And this is the 3rd time they've done this event. They did an event before where you can get a 10k vanilla of Suisa and then a 10k vanilla of Sakura Miko was the second one. This is the 3rd one, which actually gives you a chance to get those old cards. So that's good for new players. But also that actually gives them like an actual effect and stuff that you can actually use, which is pretty cool. But you log in every day, you get these packs, which are only for specific gacha for these cards, which again we'll go over in a little bit. And those are kind of the 2 events that are going on right now, is the Chronos Festival and then the Hololive collab, which has, as you can imagine, a bunch of dailies, maybe not dailies specifically, but a bunch of lifetime missions that you want to clear up, as well as a bunch of rewards that you can claim. There's also, in combination with that, there's a couple of other things going on. For example, right now there's double VP and double rank points, which is going to be very important in a couple of minutes. There's a lot to go over today. So double VP and rank point just means whenever you play ranked, it's doubled. You get double the points that you normally would. Whenever you get VP, it is also doubled. So quite encouraging to play during this month. And then yeah, you can get some sleeves, some banners, some icons, and as well some new cards that you can actually play. And then, since it's the beginning of the month, the VP has reset, but also the rank season has reset, which you don't see it show here because I did not make it to Legend yet. But again, a little bit more about that in a bit. So first off, let's go, I guess, over the Hololive collab. So this is the Hololive collab. You usually don't see this for a lot of events, which is interesting, but it has its own sort of like mission section where you can claim and get rewards. And this event is rather simple. It's comprised of these missions here, which are, you know, these event missions that you can only get from this section here. But there are also lifetime missions, which lifetime is not really, I should say limited time missions is probably more accurate, right? There's some limited time missions that you can do to also get some of these rewards. And basically what you do is you just do normal things, like you play ranked, you play character fights, you play the game, and you get rewarded with packs, or I think specifically packs, or do you get the, okay, you also get these medals. You get packs and medals that you can use to exchange for stuff. You can use the packs, not specifically to exchange for stuff, but you can use that to hit the gacha for these specific set of cards. And then any duplicates you get, which you will be getting a lot of them, will be turned into medals that you can use to exchange for stuff. So you can see here there's a lot of little different things that you can claim and do. So we're going to go ahead and claim a couple here, which is going to give us a nice 13 packs, so we can actually go ahead and hit the gacha with that. And then there are dailies for this specific event that don't show up in your daily quest, so just keep that in mind. So you can go through those. And then go ahead and take a look at the life or time limited missions here. I've been playing some ranked, so I've actually managed to get some of these overdress missions done, but more about that in a bit. But you can see here we have some of the Chronos Festival stuff. And actually, they're not here. Actually, oh, okay. Okay, so never mind. These are all like specifically condensed in here, which kind of makes sense. It makes it a little bit more organized. So all of the like missions for this event are all in this section here. Then if we go over to the shop, you can see I've changed things around. I've put what's his face here. So we can go here to the gacha. I might release this on the same day that I record it, but I might wait till the Monday of. We'll see. Got a lot going on. A lot I need to record today. We have this specific Meek Comet gacha here, which has just 5 cards at humongous quantities for some of them, and only 2 of these. Don't worry, I on my other account have only played today when the event has gone live, and I've already managed to get 2 of these, which are the GR for this event. So don't worry, it shouldn't be too hard. You can also exchange your items to get them, so I'll show you what I mean by that. So I actually, in one day, I already managed to get like, I don't know, 100 packs or something like that, just from just playing and doing stuff. So they're not like super relevant cards, so that's why you shouldn't be expected to miss out on these. But we'll get the grade 2s, Sakuramikos, and the Suises, as well as the grade 3 Sakuramiko here. And that's all the box is going to be. You can finally see the conversion that I've been talking about. Finally got that on video. We're going to get a bunch of Suises here. There was an event, the 2 Hololive collabs in the past that I was talking about, where you just had to like play a bunch of rank fights, and I kind of like those because some of the events now, instead of just encourage you to do more, or not encourage you, but they force you to do character fights, which means you have to use stamina, which means you have to use gems, which means you have to use money. Whereas these previous events, you actually just needed to use your time, essentially, just to go on rank fights. And the more rank fights you did, the more packs you got that you would then use in a similar gacha, but it would only give you just the 1 card, which was first the grade 2 Suisa and then the grade 2 Sakuramiko. But then you can get a chance to get them in SP, which for fans of them probably would have liked it. Unfortunately, they were only 10k vanillas. That is to say that they just have 10k. They can be played in any deck, but they do not have any effect. So that's why this time around they've actually released grade 3s for both Suisa and Sakuramiko, which actually do have effects. Their effects are fine. I don't know how well the deck will do. I know the intention is not necessarily for this to be a meta-defining deck, but it can do some stuff. You know, it actually has an effect now, which is nice. I'm planning eventually on going over it, but we'll see. And we got the last one here. As you can see, I've gotten a bunch of the grade 2s already. Within like the first 2 packs, I got, you know, enough copies of them. And then you'll see here, all the additional ones will be turned into these Comet, or Meek Comet medals, which you can then use to exchange for SP versions of these cards, as well as just any versions of these cards, which is nice. And then really quickly, I will mention that it is nice that they've updated the gacha, so you can see without going into it how many packs you have. Because I believe in the video that I did packet openings, I had to go into each one just to see which one I had, but thankfully we don't have to do that anymore. And then really quickly, to finish up this Hololive collab section here, just go over the things that you can exchange. Yep, there's Tayo. You're very shocked. You're totally a high school student, not just some 30-year-old ass man. That's what you fucking sound like. Here are the exchanges that you can get. Most of it is, like I've mentioned, is cards that are in the gacha already. If you don't want to get them, or if you don't pull them, you can get them, including the GR, which you can get. I won't go over these right now. You can get sleeves, you can get banners, all that kind of stuff, icons, and you can also get here packs. So if you are not interested in, you know, these VTubers or this event in general, it's totally skippable. I will encourage you to at least use it, just so you can use it to get these packs at the very least. And you can always just use your extras for skip tickets, which is actually limited for some reason, which is kind of funny. So they kind of force you to get some of the other stuff, I guess. But yeah, why not? And one other thing I forgot to mention, we'll probably put this forward. But as you do character fights, you actually do get this event drop here, as you can see it there. So as you do your character fights, you get the packs, which is good. Which is why it's very easy to get the cards for this event. And since there's double BP, you can very easily fill up your BP. So, pretty good month to be playing Vanguard Zero. So let's go over the Chrono Festival / the 2.5 anniversary here. Where we basically just have a bunch of lifetime missions. Most of them are pretty simple that you just be doing as you play, you know, log in, do rank fights, and then there are some for fighting certain characters. It's kind of like almost one for each character, but there are just specific characters that you have to fight against. It's basically all the characters from the previous event that we talked about last month, plus Kamori, Luna, Amu, Saya, so just those. And then these are meant for VP and getting medals and stuff, which just gives you the medals. And then let's just go over that. Pretty simple. Here we go to the item exchange, and we will go over to the Chrono Bat here, and you can see you can exchange for stuff. Again, just sleeves and stuff, which is fine. And you can also get packs. You can get 5 packs of every pack in the game at the moment, which is nice. But you'll also see that these fighters collections here cost, you know, more than double of the other ones. And that is because of what is in these boxes and in this set, which we'll go over next. But you can also actually change it for, you know, time leap crystals, which is nice. Lets you craft cards a lot more easily. Since it's Chrono themed, that's why it's time leap stuff for Gear Chronicle. And that's the event. Not much to talk about here. Unfortunately, it is only 2.5, so it's not like it's the 3rd year anniversary where you would expect more things. At the same time, Vanguard Zero is notorious for not doing amazing things when it comes to anniversary. They do give out stuff, but it's not like some other games where they give you out more things. So it's hoping that me calling them out here encourages them to wow us in the 3rd year anniversary. But in any case. Alright, so let's talk about these new sets here. So as I've mentioned, every month we get a new set. This time it's a little bit special because they decided to give us Fighters Collection 2 and also bring back Fighters Collection 1. So a little bit of history. Fighters Collection 1 is a set that came out many moons ago, and it was actually an additional set, much like it is now, where alongside the actual set that month, they gave us Fighters Collection. And the way they did Fighters Collection was amazing because they actually give us, through missions and through daily rewards and everything, you actually got free packs, enough to actually go through the entire box yourself without having to spend any money, which was amazing. It was one of the most amazing campaigns that was ever done in Vanguard Zero to this date. And I decided to bring this back, and then not only bring it back, but also give us the, you know, 2nd iteration of this in Fighters Collection 02. Except Fighters Collection 02 is kind of the main focus of this month. So you can see here, Fighters Collection is a very interesting set, because all the cards in this set are double rare and above. There are no commons, and there are no rares at all, which is kind of insane when you think about it. And this was kind of used as a way, since when it was released, they were slowly releasing out, you know, support for all of the clans, but they were doing it in a sort of slower fashion. So in order to sort of bring everyone up to speed, they released this, which has just basically stride support for every single clan. So every single clan has at least 2 strides from, you know, this box, as well as new PGs and as well as new stride fodders, which freaking dope. So stuff that hasn't received support at the time, or stuff that still hasn't received support to this day, such as Numatama and Tachikaze, which Numatama gets it next month. Tachikaze is still, what the fuck, was actually able to, you know, stride and like do stuff, which was pretty sick, and a lot of decks actually came out of this set, which is great. And what they've decided to do is bring it back for basically the same exact thing. Everyone gets 2 strides. And everyone gets, I believe, like a grade 3 and a grade 2 or grade 1 or something like that, instead of the PGs and the stride fighters, because they already gave that. Now, the big elephant in the room and the issue with this is that if I were to try and go here and try and pay money for this, it's actually 400 gems versus the 100 gems that it usually is to open packs. That is because Game Studio knows that if they left this the same as the other boxes, you can very easily hit this box several times, and since everything is double R and above, you could, 1, pre-craft everything, so get a very high exchange rate of generation materials back, but also 2, if you open these a lot, you will still get a high value back of generation materials, which means you then won't open boxes, you just craft your GRs, the game goes bankrupt. And that's kind of why these boxes are more expensive, and for all the exchanges, they're a lot harder to get. On the other side of that coin, these things aren't really super mandatory. What I mean by that is that they provide support to every clan. You can always just craft these things because it's just really like 2 or 3 cards for each clan. So they are craftable unless you are part of the unfortunate 6 that got one of their strides in a as a GR. From my knowledge, really the only one of these GRs that really sees plays is these 2 for Bermuda Triangle and for Gear Chronicle. The rest of these are not like super mega viable, like from what I've seen. I don't know. I still think that most of these cards are really good, but they haven't like taken the competitive scene by storm or anything like that, is what I'm trying to say. All that to say is that it is skippable if you want to skip it, but there's a lot of fun stuff to be had here. It's just kind of difficult to get these packs, which is why we go back to the beginning in the login rewards where I said it's not like you're getting 20 or 30 or 40 packs for this one. It's split up between 2 of them. So as a returning player or an existing player, it kind of sucks because you maybe already have this, because again, they gave us a free box in the past, but it does mean we get generation material. So let's just open up one of these really quickly. There's not really much that I can say about these. Again, it's pretty skippable. Has a lot of fun stuff. It supports you a lot, especially if, for example, your deck the clan you're picking is not part of the G Super decks. You can get stuff like your PGs and Stride Fodders from here. Granted, it is kind of difficult to get that because it's kind of up to the gacha to give it to you. But you can see here, the Pegasus was actually originally from this set. But we already have 2 of them from the Super Deck here. They also have a high rate of getting SPs. I got another GR. Every time I open, this is the 3rd time I've opened packs on this on recording for this channel or for this series, and I get a GR within the first couple of packs. But yeah, this is the GR for Link Joker, and I got an SP of the other Link Joker card and an SP of some Grand Blue card. Sure. Why not? And then we got here the conversion, which happens a lot in this set when you open it, because a lot of the things are always going to be guaranteed to be, I think it's always guaranteed that everything is triple, and then you get at least, or sorry, everything is double, and then 1 triple rare, so that's why it shows you the conversion, because this is supposed to just be at least 1, but anyways, none of that really matters. But you can see here, we got a bunch of these Stride Fodder, PGs, and stuff. Cool stuff. And that's about it. There are some missions and stuff you can go through to get this stuff, but again, it is kind of skippable. It is very expensive. I don't really recommend spending your gems on this unless, again, you are a more veteran player. Then you can get a lot of value out of this. Fills a lot of the decks that you might want to play. Gives them some pieces to play around with, have some fun, but also gives you a butt ton of generation materials. Alright, so let's go a little bit rapid fire over some small things that I've been meaning to go over. I just haven't found the time in other videos here. First things first, every month, we, if you go to, while they're talking, if you go to another screen, they remain talking. Or within this, if you go to a menu within the same screen, they'll still be talking. Every month when a new set drops, we also get these deck missions. These are not great. Because these imply that you have a full deck and then they give you a little bit back. But in order to get these full decks, it is implied that you'll have to spend a lot of time, resources, or money in order to get these, because I have none of these. These are from the new set. They're all usually all new cards from the new set, but if you collect them, you do get some rewards, such as sleeves and some gems. Just wanted to mention that. It's not a reliable source of gems or anything like that, but hey, sometimes you might have stuff where like a deck or a clan receives like one card or a few cards of support, and you manage to pull that stuff and fill out the deck mission, and you get lucky, get some gems. But other than that, it's kind of forgettable, but I just wanted to mention. I guess this song just always played during certain bits. I just never had the sound on. That's kind of cool. But one other thing I wanted to go over, I briefly touched on the story in Card Capital 1. Let's swap over there really quickly, where that was just kind of part of tutorials, and I kind of incentivized you to try, or I incentivized you, I advised you, that's the right word, to go through it just so you can get the rewards and stuff. If you can see here, I've gone through a good chunk of them, and that's just to bring up my grade here on this side, so that I can get, you know, stamina refishes, and then get, more max stamina. When we started this, we were at like 28 or 30 or something like that, and now I'm already at 128. But these give you vouchers and then eventually some packs that you can use only for, you know, this gacha. However, if you go over to the Card Capital 2 side, they also have a story mode in the same vein, and there are some missions, some dailies that you can complete, which ask you to read a story. You can either do one of these story missions for characters, or you can do the actual story here, which goes through the story of the manga. The anime. I don't know why I said the manga specifically. And there's a couple of chapters, you can go through it, and you also get rewards for these. Some of these rewards are actually packs. I don't remember if they give you rewards, if it's not the current month, if you don't get those packs anymore, because you can see here these are fighter medal. But let me see, let's go through a couple of these really quickly and see if that will be the case. Also have some, I guess, deck updates that we'll talk about afterwards, but I've been slowly building up my Gear Chronicle deck. It has been pretty difficult. There we go. That took way longer than I thought it would, but yeah, so you can go through all of the current story missions and you'll get the packs for when that story was, for the box for when that story was first released. So we've got here the Generation Shrine pack, which is for the very first set. I just wanted to make sure of that. I wasn't sure if it was going to be like upgraded or something like that. I think I could have just clicked on before the match where it says first time, but I just went through it really quickly. But yeah, you can go through the story. The story for the G anime is pretty cool. If you don't want to experience it through the anime for some reason, or just can't, then hey, you can do it through the game here. We also get these fighters medals, which, let's talk about that. So the second to last thing that we'll talk about today is fighters medals, which you get from your login rewards, but more importantly, you basically always get them for when you complete your daily missions. These are here fighters medals. There's an exchange for these that you can use to exchange for stuff. You also get them from story, as you saw. These are pretty important because they allow you to exchange for packs, which is good. And these packs here refresh every month. So right now you can claim this, for example, try 3 next. Get all 5 of them. Next month it'll refresh and you can get all 5 of them again. It does take a while for them to, you know, accumulate. I haven't really been going through the dailies as much as I possibly could, just because, again, holding up for an event, but we'll talk about that when we talk about that. You can also do this for the first side, for the clan gachas and stuff. I wouldn't advise doing that. But you can also do this for starters. So these are all starters that were released for events. So there are specific clans that only get support through events. And when their events have passed, you can use your fighters medals to go ahead and claim that starter. So you can actually use them. Otherwise, you can't use them. Otherwise, every other starter in the game is automatically given to you. You know, your grade 0 that you can select. But these you have to specifically claim. And so ideally what you would like to do is just try and get as many of these fighters medals as you can, save them up, and then for the new set, you can guarantee yourself 5 packs, which is nice. At the moment, we don't have the current sets available here. Sometimes Game Studio flubs up and it doesn't show up immediately. Sometimes it'll come 1 or 2 days afterwards. But you can use that just to get yourself some new, packs for free. And that's about it for Fighter's Medal. I just wanted to go through a couple of these small little things that I've been wanting to mention in these videos, but just haven't really had the time. Okay, so the last thing I want to mention here is what I've been up to with this account specifically. So we have our Gear Chronicle deck here. It is unfortunately not super up to snuff just yet. I don't understand Gear Chronicle enough to build a sort of budget version of it. But I have been able to use a lot of my crafting material to get some of these cards, such as 2 of the Stand Trigger here, and then I believe either 1 or all 3 of these Chrono Jet Gs here. I believe I need to get 1 more. Other than that, I've gotten pretty lucky and I've gotten most of the other stuff. But the deck just feels like discombobulated because it's just kind of a mix of the old stuff and a mix of the new stuff, and the new stuff doesn't really mesh well with the old stuff. So instead, what I've been using is actually Shadow Paladin here. I used up all of my, well, not all of them, most of my gacha tickets on the Shadow Paladin gacha. I think I specifically used like maybe 100 in order to just get everything that I needed in order to play Revengers. So a little bit of background. Revengers is an archetype of Shadow Paladins that many users have been waiting for, because when it was released in the TCG, everyone was basically playing Revengers because of how good and how fun the deck is. When it finally got released in Zero, the servers were ass because the users just jumped up in quantity and just everyone was trying to get Revengers. And no lie, when you get on ranked, 50% of the players were playing Revengers. The other were playing Link Joker, which was the new clan that was also highly anticipated on release. So that was a very big set. And the hype is basically, it lived up to the hype, basically, because Revengers have been good this entire time since they were released, which is why I recommended the super deck for, not the G special deck, but the just super deck for Shadow Paladins, because it gives you a pretty decent Revenger core. Had I gotten the G special Shadow Paladin super deck or whatever, I'm always calling them one or the other, I'd have a slightly better G zone. Right now all I have is, Cray Elementals, but I'd actually have, G units I can go into. But the game plan for this deck is pretty much unchanged since it's been dropped. Well, it has gotten released because this is like the second iteration of it where they got a second wave of support where it has legions and stuff. But hey, it's been working. I've been using it in ranked. It's been playing, really good, and I've been playing against actual people. They weren't actually bots. The only reason I know that they're not bots is just because they actually have a G zone for one. That's mainly the only way that you know if someone's a bot or not, is if they have a G zone. Yeah, it's been going great. And I've been using this to go through ranked. And the reason I keep bringing up ranked is because right now there is a very important rank reward for me specifically, because I'm, playing, or assumably playing Gear Chronicle, all I've been playing is Shadow Paladin, and I gotta say, it's been a lot of fun. I'm one of those people that, like, when something super popular is going on, I avoid it because I try to be cool and avoid the mainstream and whatnot. But I usually always find out later on that there's a reason that it was mainstream and cool and good and whatnot. Yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. But I'm not gonna be able to see it actually, because I don't have these season rewards. So we have to go over here actually. Because what is going on right now, as I've mentioned, every ranked season starts, it resets every 2 weeks, also timed with the beginning of the month, and because of that, there is a new ranked season for Chrono Jet G. So, what I can do here is I can play, if I get up to Legend 10, I can get myself a free copy of Chrono Jet G, and I don't have to craft or open boxes for it. Likewise, if I continue to rank up, I don't think it shows it here, I can get more copies of it. So if I rank up to Legend 20, I get a second copy. If I rank up to Legend 30, I get a third copy. And if I rank up, unfortunately, to Legend 50, not 40, you get your fourth copy. Which will be incredibly easy because now we have double rank points. Otherwise, it would be a bit of a grind. Even then, you usually only need to make it to like 20 because at the end of the season, depending on where you placed, because it is a ranking, right? So you're placed between 1 and whatever, how many other users there are in the game. If you placed in the top, I think like 1,000 or something like that, which means you typically don't have to go super high to do this. They actually give you 2 copies of, or at least 1 copy of the Chrono Jet G, but SP. As you can see here, so top rankings get the SP, and they're delivered when the season's done. Obviously, if you make it to first, you get trophies and stuff, but you also get just 4 copies of the SP. Which is only given to whoever gets the first, but you could be 1,000th and you still get an SP copy of it. And it's not so much about the bling, it's just the fact that it's an extra copy of the card that you didn't have to grind for, is what I'm trying to get at. And that's kind of what I'm going to be trying to do here, because if we go back here to rank fight, I am, I believe, CB. I'm B1. And we can take a look at our new rankings here. Thankfully, you don't actually rank down after seasons, but I haven't reached Legend, and you see the season will end in 14 days. But you see these guys here are in first, and you can go down here and see who's in 100th place. Obviously, if you make it top 100, you'll definitely get 2 copies of it. I forgot the exact cap. I think it's like if you make top 3,000, you get 1 copy, and I think if you make like 100 or 1,000, you get 2 SP copies or something like that, and then you don't get the 3rd unless you make like top 10. But all that is irrelevant, because point is, I'm going to be able to get my last Chrono Jet G just from playing ranked, if I can just make it up there. And that about does it for today. We went over a lot, but TLDR, there's a couple of events going on. There's a Hololive event as well as a 2.5 year anniversary event. They just kind of give you cosmetics and stuff. The Hololive gives you cards, but they're only cards for, I guess Hololive deck, technically. But you can technically use them in any deck. Whether or not you would want to is up to you. The box for this month is actually a Fighters Collection. It's not like a typical box, so it's more expensive, but it gives you higher rarity things, so just keep that in mind. And you can get some gems and sleeves for doing monthly deck missions, which is just if you complete an entire deck list that they have listed there. They'll give you a few things, and also use your medals that you can get from story mode. Both shops have a story mode, so make sure you do both because they'll give you packs. But use the medals you get from that to exchange for also more packs. And try to get to Legend, because you'll get cool rank rewards, like cards that you specifically need for the deck that you're trying to build. But in any case, until next time, take care of yourself, play Vanguard, and have yourself a damn good one.